Happy holidays, everyone. Jennifer Kirschenbaum here. I'm here with Olga from WCH. I'm very happy to be bringing some information to you for the end of the year and for the start of the new year. We thought that this is the perfect time to present on credentialing. There's some updates you need to know. And I want to just introduce Olga. I'm going to turn it over to her after. She's been in the industry for billing, coding, and credentialing for 23 years. She's with WCH, which is a nationwide billing company located right here in New York. They have a couple of other satellite offices. They specialize in assisting medical practices of all sizes, small to extremely large, and multi-specialty and single specialty and pretty much all specialties. And in addition to that, Olga has recently been minted as the new board member for the National Billing Association, HBMA, which you may have heard of. It's the preeminent billing association nationwide. And she's also the chair of the Commercial Payer Committee and has tremendous knowledge, experience, and relationships with the payers nationwide. So it's my pleasure to have you here today, Olga. Thank you so much for giving us a few minutes of your time.
Thank you, Jennifer, for the introduction. Happy holidays, everyone. I wish that next year will bring joy and peace to many of people internationally and locally. I wanted to focus today on the two points that are affecting every single provider in every state. We are going to speak about credentialing, how important it is to maintain your credentialing, the accuracy of demographics at the payer side, never miss recredentialing or revalidation. These are very important aspects of the credentialing process that will impact your billing. You could lose your billing privileges if you miss your credentialing. So this is a perfect time of the year to start reconsidering your future business plans, whether you are changing a location, terminating reassignments, hiring new staff, developing new locations. This is a perfect time to let the insurance company where you're going to be and what information needs to be updated. We want to go first to the carrier rather than have the carrier come to us. And sometimes their mailers are missed. They're often they do not call to update information. They're expecting the providers to do it. We get so busy as office managers, as doctors in our world of medicine, that we tend to forget about the payers and our responsibility to them to keep everything updated. So it's very important to make sure that you are on top of your credentialing, that there is someone there, my team, or there's an office internally that's doing it, that is handling your credentialing updates. And second, contract negotiation. You have every right to request a payer to change your rates. There's a great flux in the economy. Things are changing. Prices are going up. You deserve a better rate, whether it's through the IPA, through contract negotiation, whether it's direct contract negotiation with the payer. There is a way to get it done. Even if you're a primary care, if you're a specialist, if you're an ancillary provider, you have a right to request negotiation of contract. My team knows how to do it. We've been very successful in getting our clients' rates negotiated. You do have to be at least 3 years as a provider to have a proven track record of claims, some kind of data that an insurance company can take a look at. But definitely also a good time to look at your rates, look at the revenue report for the past year, compare it to the 2022 even. Look at the rates, look at your practice cost of running the practice, and let us help you get your rates updated, negotiated, and help you with the credentialing process. We are in New York. My contact information is right here on the screen. We are always available. Please email. We can set up a call quickly through Zoom or meet in my office or meet in your practice, but we're here to help. We are the company that knows how to deal with payers. We know all the ins and outs of the payers world when it comes to these kind of credentialing updates and contract negotiation. I think I have done with my general message to the healthcare providers. Jennifer, anything else you would like me to add on?
I have a couple of questions for you.
Sure.
I want them to understand. So when you say, look, you have to chase down these payers that are already making your life so difficult, so you can tell them about your information that they seem to just not care about, right? Why should we bother? Is there really any impact if we don't update our information with the providers, with the the payers?
Right. There is a great impact, and one of them is inability to bill. So you'll be at risk of losing your provider ID number, because if you are originally got credentialed with one service location, but over the years you have extended your practice, and now you have, let's say, 2 more locations that you have never added to the insurance, and you're billing using the original location, that creates a risk. It's in compliance. There will possibly be an order that you will not pass, and the insurance company wants you to make sure that every time you relocate or anytime there's an update to your practice, you report this information within 30 days. This is a Medicare, Medicaid, and HMO requirement. So you're kind of jeopardizing your own practice and your income. Got to
So
get it done.
yeah, so I think, I mean, I've seen this personally in my practice with some of my clients have had to call, and we've worked together on some of these issues actually, where we understand there's certain payers that have been out there. I've seen this with Fidelis. I've seen it with a few of the other payers I can name, where it sort of makes sense to me that the payers are looking for ways to reallocate the pool of money that's available, and
Mm-hmm.
they'll look for ways to exclude doctors. A lot
Oh,
of
yeah.
times it's the ones with the smaller offices that are treating less of their insureds, and they'll just basically make the decision of, look, there's this foot fault that you've done. Like, you haven't
Mm-hmm.
updated your system here, or this information isn't correct. We're going to use this as a reason to terminate your contract. And that's not really the reason. The reason really is that they've agreed maybe to pay Mount Sinai a little bit more, and so
Yeah.
the money from here to pay here, and so I see that they'll use those foot faults, and I definitely think that that's really, really important that internally we make sure that our information is up to speed with the payers. Are there any in particular that you want to call out that you've seen as very active in this kind of termination?
Yes, I'll do it very quietly. It's Health First.
Okay, yeah, don't scream that out loud.
Yeah.
Yes, I
Yeah.
agree with that one as well.
And it's a term that it's not termination. They're not even using that term most of the cases, right? Like if they're forcing a termination, yes, they're
Right,
gonna say we're gonna terminate, but it's a non-renewal.
non-renewal,
We made a decision
non-renewal,
to non-renew you. And
right.
the doctors, I don't know, they're so upset when they get it, especially the PCP who has a huge roster of patients, that there's a continuation of care and then they have to go to somebody else. So yeah, Health First is one of the pairs that has introduced this model of non-renewed, which MetroPlus picked up pretty well. And for the past 2 years, we are seeing a tendency for certain specialties to be non-renewed when they're due for recredentialing. So it is a big deal. In fact, they're actually pushing this message over to the IPAs as well. iPenny, Ninum, they get these messages from the insurance and say, hey, we're not going to accept the specialties. That's it. So it's becoming an issue, and it could be avoided if everything is done on timely basis. If there is a communication from the provider with the payer, we are not going to wait for them to come to us. We're going to go to them and give them the updates. And I think that's going to make more transparent relationship with the payer overall. Even when it comes to audits and dealing with contract negotiation, if my profile demographic is correct, I am more comfortable to start negotiating because they can see completely my practice and how it's set up.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the times, from my perspective, the issues is that the insurance company knows more about your practice than you do, right? For the doctor, like they have all of these numbers and metrics, and they're able to. They have the teams, the brainiacs, to sift through the data, and so they know the story of the practice. Like the doctor will have a sense, oh, I'm seeing, this number of patients for this service, but the insurance company's boiling that down to metrics and numbers and codes and this and that. So it puts us at a disadvantage, and we feel almost sort of disorganized going into these conversations with the carrier.
Yeah.
But the more organized you can be on the way going in, the more successful you're going to be on, number one, maintaining your in-network status and your patient flow. And then secondarily going to, the first one's the stick with the credentialing, right? And the carrot is the fee negotiation is, if you have this information and you can really understand, what did you make last year? What did you make from this payer last year? Which really means how many of their insureds are you doing good services for? It puts you in a much better situation to make an argument that, look, there's general increases that have to be given on an annual basis. There's cost of living increases. In addition, look at these efficiencies and benefits that we're providing to your members by providing this
Oh,
wonderful
yeah.
care. And I think that as a resolution for 2024, the year when everyone's nervous about what else could go wrong.
Yeah,
We've
right.
already had the plague, we've already had this, we've had
And we
that.
have the election.
Right, and we have the election coming up. So I think we should all, it's the message for 2024 is be prepared, right?
Yeah.
For anything. I think that's what we should
Yes.
go with. So prepare for anything. We could also do it in a positive way, not get kicked out of our payers, keep
Yeah.
our patients, and maybe negotiate for a bit more money.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know. Okay.
I
Any
also will say that what we noticed in credentialing, just very small part, is that parity law, right? So we assume the insurance company will pay the specialty the same rate as they're paying to another specialty with the same payer, right? So, but it's not so. Every single physician, depending on the year they got enrolled, gets a different fee schedule. And that's also incorrect. Insurance companies are playing these games because no one goes back to your contract, right? I got contract in 2013. I'm still getting paid the same rate in 2023. Why? And no one digs in. Nobody opens up that file. But this is how we start the contract negotiation, right? The current CMS rate, not the rate of 2013. So there's a lot of ways we are able to look at the contract and able to tell this is where we can start from. This is the platform we're going to use.
Yes, and a lot of us do need help with this because at the end of the day, and this just popped into my head, the insurance companies, they are the house in Vegas, but they actually also have the cameras and the dealer can see all of our cards.
I
So
like it.
and the house is always going to win, right? And the
Yes.
stacks are it's stacked against us, but we can have our own cameras and our own visibility, and we have to be able to play smarter because we're getting beat hand after
Yeah,
hand, right? So
absolutely.
anyway, all right, I think there's a lot that we could be doing. And to, I know you've always been a friend to the industry and you do so much education for free and this and that. And so I think just a general tips today, even if they don't want to call and have a new vendor, they like their billing company or whatever.
Mhm.
I think it really is about understanding what you're doing internally, trying to press. And then if you do need some extra help, I know a lot of billing companies do a great job with sort of one thing. You guys are big enough where you do a great job in a lot of things. And so
Mhm.
they can also call for piecemeal. Calling you doesn't mean they have to fire their biller. It could be
Absolutely not. We have different
it's just a
services. Yeah.
one-off thing. Yeah.
Now,
Mm.
we are very respectful to everyone that is in our industry. We are all professionals and we're not here to take anyone's job. We can be hired as consultants and we can train the billers to bill properly. We can train the credentialists at the practice to do credentialing properly. We are not here to take over anyone's practice. It's all about getting the help you need, working with professionals, because we benefit as well. We have learned so much by working with different states, with different specialties. There's so many law regulations that separate us. So I gain a lot of knowledge with my team by working with different billers and credentialers. My number one tip from today's call would be that if you're in practice for at least 10 years and you have never renewed your contract, you have never checked your rates, compared them, or you never verified your actual enrollment on the insurance side, do that thing first. Whether it's internally, whether you outsource it, get to see how you look at on insurance side, what locations they have on you, and take a look at your contract. These are the basic things that every practice should do every 5 years. But if you're not doing it at all, start with that. That would be the first step.
That's a great tip. Okay, well, they can all tune in for our podcast that we'll have to schedule.
Yes.
But I think this is great, and we'll talk again soon, I hope, and
Absolutely.
a different topic. And wishing you a wonderful holiday season, Olga. Thank you so
You
much.
too, Jen. Thank you so much, and may the new year bring us all luck and peace.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Be well. Take care.